Good evening. So I been through a lot. It's been about 6 months. I graduated from Albany in May of 2019. May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, yes, it's been exactly 6 months actually since I graduated from college, and a lot has happened in the past 6 months. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to just have a story time with my viewers, anyone who's watching, anyone who knows me, doesn't know me, or whatever the case may be. And I wanted to come here just candid, no makeup, no nothing, just conversation, period, right? I've been through a lot. So coming back home, first and foremost, I left my school the first day after graduation. Well, not first day, the day of. Like, after the ceremony was over, we went out to eat, had a lot of fun with family, and we came straight back to New York City. And I didn't realize how unprepared I was to move back into my mother's home. Now, this may not be the case for any person who's a college graduate, or even somebody who's still living in their parents' household. Different households are different circumstances. So you may have a great relationship with your mother or father or whomever you reside with, but that wasn't really the case for me. So I was redeveloping and rebuilding my relationship with my mother while I was in school, and coming back home made me realize that, wow, like, I really cannot live with my mom. Like, it was, I just cannot. So in my 6 months back home, I actually moved out into my first apartment. I'm 21 years old, living in New York City, and I gotta tell y'all about this process. So first and foremost, for anybody who's like looking to move out and find their own place to live, number one, I would recommend roommates. So I live with my sisters. It's 3 of us total. And the reason that I made that recommendation is just because of the fact that if you're, in an entry-level job, depending on the rent prices, especially in New York City because it's expensive, you need to have 40 times the rent to lease an apartment. And in New York City, you're not gonna find anything cheaper than, like, I mean, it really depends on the amount of rooms that you're looking for, but realistically, you're probably not gonna find anything cheaper than like $1,400, $1,500 if you're doing like a 2-bedroom or something. And that's even pushing it, because if you're looking for something that's like quality and really nice, like a renovated type of vibe, you're easily looking at $2,000 a month. It could be a small apartment. So those are just all things to consider. So coming back home, that was like my first barrier, or first real life experience, having to look for an apartment, reading different contracts, applications, utilizing different websites like Trulia, Street Easy, Zillow, all of these different brands and companies. And it was a very stressful process, especially because I didn't necessarily have parental approval to move out. But I'm just like, I'm 21, and according to the law, I'm an adult. So although my parent didn't agree with my decision, it was something that I knew I had to do to better my self-care, and just be able to maintain my relationship with my mom and still be accessible and available to her but also be independent of her at the same time. So that was really difficult to deal with, and I'm definitely gonna make a whole video just about that process to provide people in New York City with just some advice on steps on looking for an apartment in New York City, how to go about viewing, reaching out to different landlords, realtors, like what are your options, because it really is a lot. But this is really just about me and a life update. So now after that, dealing with that, I realized I was having a existential crisis, per se, because I felt like since leaving college, like, what is my purpose? When you're in school, it's like you have a specific goal, right? Like, I'm trying to get my degree, I'm trying to excel, I'm trying to do various things, because there's so many options, a plethora of things to do in a collegiate setting. But when you get back into your community, it's so big and so broad. It's like, where do I fit? Who's my community now? Who are the people that I'm gonna lean on, the shoulders that are gonna be there for me? Like, what is my community now that I'm back in this larger pool of people? And I promise y'all, I still don't know. I still don't know. But I wanted to share this because that's something that really wasn't talked about when I was in school. Like, yes, I'm working full time in the field that I was interested in, but yet I still don't feel satisfied, right? Like, why is that? Like, what is it that's going to happen or should happen that will fill these like blank spaces that I feel? And I really just think that I'm looking for, outside of work, what fulfills my life, and who is a Langie outside of any of the titles that I had. When I was in college, I was very engaged with people, very engaged with the community. So who I was restricted to the roles that I was playing, rather than, okay, like, this is me outside of being president, being whomever, right? So now it's like, damn, like when I come home and I'm just like chilling by myself, like, how do I value myself, and what are my hobbies and things that I like to do without having to receive a reward for it, receive any praise for it, or get any type of monetary assistance or support from doing it. So like, what would I do if I wasn't getting paid to do it? I mean, obviously I don't even know. I don't know. Still figuring it out. And it's been a very difficult process, and the reason that I just wanted to talk and like share this story is because it's been very difficult, an emotional roller coaster, really, feeling like, some days feeling worthless because I felt like I was purposeless, and I feel like without purpose, where's your worth? Some days I feel like, you know, maybe I'm just not good enough for some of the things that I want to do. And some days I just feel like, damn, Langie, like, you were really calling the shots back in college and being the center of attention for a lot of times. And it's like, now it's like I go to work and come home. Like, I don't think that's who I want to be. And it's okay to be that at this present moment while I figure it out. But the process of figuring it out is very difficult, has been very difficult. So I just wanted to update you guys on that, and like just talk about the fact that, like, yo, like, leaving school is hard. Adulting is hard as hell. And where was this information when I was still in college? Who was sharing this? Like, it's kind of like, yes, get your degree, things are gonna be great, you're gonna get into a career in a field that you're interested in, and all things are gonna go well. And I feel like I'm more confused about life than I was when I was in school. But it's because when you're in school, you have a consistent schedule of what you're gonna do. It's like, now I got all this damn free time. Like, what am I about to do with this free time? You know, what personal development do I have to do to get comfortable with just doing nothing sometimes, or just get comfortable with chilling? You know what I'm saying? So many different things to explore and to consider. I'll definitely continue updating on what's happening and how this process has been for me. I've definitely like started journaling more and just trying to discover who I am. This is one of my journals. I have several journals, y'all. Lots of them. Because I think it's important for self-discovery purposes, just to write out how I'm feeling, you know, like, and really acknowledge those feelings, instead of, you know, oftentimes it's like we feel a type of way and we're like, you know what, maybe I'm just dragging it, maybe I shouldn't feel this way. So I've been more cognizant of how I'm approaching my feelings and the things that I'm experiencing. So this is just a quick story about what's been happening in my life. I'll definitely be doing an episode and a conversation about moving out and how that's process been, getting my first full-time job, what that was like, how difficult it's been to really cultivate new relationships outside of a collegial setting. I think those are things that are not necessarily being talked about, or just are not accessible information to the masses. So I'll definitely be sharing with you guys. Leave some questions and comments, whatever you want to do. Thank you for watching, listening to my story, and just being a part of my journey.